Imagine a cold, crisp morning in Kansas City, Missouri, in January 1935. The Grand President Hotel, a beacon of elegance, stood tall against the skyline. But within its walls, a chilling enigma was about to unfold, one that would baffle investigators for decades. This is the story of Room 1046. Our tale begins on January 2nd, when a man checked into Room 1046 under the name Roland T. Owen. He was described as well-dressed, neatly groomed, and seemingly unremarkable. Yet his actions, or lack thereof, would soon paint a picture far more complex. The first sign of peculiarity came from the hotel maid, Louise Abernathy. Upon entering Room 1046 to clean, she found the shades drawn, the room dim, and the door to the connecting room, Room 1048, ajar. A note on a dresser read, "Don't bother us, we want to sleep." Louise, assuming it was a couple, simply tidied up and left. The next day, Louise returned. The note was gone, the room still dark. As she cleaned, the phone rang. A man's voice on the other end asked for Roland. Louise heard the occupant pick up another phone extension in the room, but only a muffled, indistinguishable conversation followed. When she tried to ask Roland if he needed anything, he merely held a hand over the mouthpiece and whispered, "No, Arlington. I don't want any breakfast." A few hours later, Louise returned for fresh towels. This time, the door was locked from the outside. She knocked, and a voice from within, not Roland's, responded, "We have no need of service." This was odd. Why would someone lock the room from the outside if they were inside? The oddities escalated. On January 4th, a bellboy named Randolph Probst attempted to deliver a radio. He found the door locked and heard two men talking inside. He eventually left the radio with a clerk. Early on January 5th, the hotel switchboard operator noticed Room 1046's phone off the hook for a long period. When she called the room, a man answered, simply stating, "Okay," before hanging up. She eventually notified the assistant manager, who then dispatched a bellboy to investigate. Upon entering Room 1046 with the passkey, the bellboy was met with a disturbing sight. The room was still dark, lit only by a dim bedside lamp. He found the occupant, Roland T. Owen, on the floor, leaning against the bed. He was conscious but seemed disoriented and incoherent. The room itself showed signs of a considerable struggle. The bellboy promptly called the manager, who immediately summoned the authorities. When the officers arrived, they found the room in disarray. Furniture was overturned, lamps broken, and there were unusual marks that suggested a violent interaction. Roland was in a very critical state. He had significant marks around his neck and chest, and his head showed signs of injury. Despite his condition, he remained largely silent or gave nonsensical answers to questions. He eventually succumbed to his injuries a few hours later, without ever revealing his true identity or what had transpired. The investigation began. There was no identification on the man, save for a few crumpled matchbooks in the gutters. His clothes were of good quality but bore no labels. His fingerprints yielded no matches in any national database. The initial cause of his passing was determined to be a brain hemorrhage, but the precise manner remained a profound mystery. Then, a peculiar discovery, a small, tightly rolled paper cylinder concealed in the man's pant cuff. It contained the number 20 written in pencil. This single clue offered no immediate answers, deepening the enigma. What could it mean? A few months later, the authorities received an anonymous phone call. The caller claimed the deceased was actually a man named Artemis Ogletree, a known underworld figure from New York. This lead, however, also proved to be a dead end. No connections could be established. The case went cold for over a year until a different phone call came in, this time from a woman in Memphis, Tennessee. She claimed the man was her brother, Fred Johnson, who had run away from home years ago after a dispute. She recognized him from a newspaper photo of the unidentified man, despite the family having reported him missing as Artemis Ogletree due to a misunderstanding. The family confirmed the man's identity as John Doe, or Joseph, as he was known. He was a 17-year-old high school student who had indeed run away after an argument. But why was he in Room 1046? And what had truly transpired in that confined space? The true identity of the man was Joseph, but this only deepened the mystery. Why would a young man check into a hotel under an assumed name, seemingly involved in such a dark situation? The Roland T, Owen alias remained unexplained. Many theories emerged. Was Joseph involved in some illicit dealings? Was he meeting someone he shouldn't have? The "don't bother us" note, the mysterious phone calls, the locked door, the multiple voices heard all suggested at least one other person was involved. Some speculate that Joseph was engaged in a poker game that turned violent. Others suggest a rendezvous gone terribly wrong. The mention of Valentin on the phone could point to a location or another individual. And the "don't bother us" note, was it a warning or a deception? The most compelling theory involves an individual named Don. During one of the mysterious phone calls, a hotel employee overheard Roland mention a Don. This Don could have been the other man heard in the room, the one who locked the door from the outside. Could Don have been responsible for Joseph's demise? The state of the room, the marks on Joseph's body, all point to a violent altercation. But if so, how did Don escape without a trace, leaving no clues about his own identity? The 20 found in Joseph's cuff remains a tantalizing clue. Was it a room number in another hotel? A code? A sum of money? Its significance has never been definitively established, adding another layer to the already impenetrable puzzle. The case of room 1046, despite the identification of the individual, remains officially unsolved. No arrests were ever made, no definitive answers provided for the strange events that unfolded within that hotel room. It's a testament to the fact that sometimes, even with clues, the truth can remain stubbornly out of reach. The strange happenings in room 1046 captivated the nation and continue to fascinate true crime enthusiasts today. It serves as a haunting reminder of how quickly ordinary moments can descend into profound mystery, leaving behind only questions. What do you think happened in room 1046? Was it a planned meeting gone wrong, a random act of misfortune, or something even more complex? Share your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this dive into a historical enigma, please like this video and subscribe for more untold stories.